everyone. Welcome to the post-match session for Cricket 360 after a wonderful start by Team India. We always knew that, in the ODI format, there is a significant gap between the capability and the performance levels of the two teams. But good to see that even in the T20 format, India has taken the 1-0 lead. It's 9-1 head-on-head in the last 10 matches. Rohit Sharma continues to impress as a captain as well as a batsman. Really wonderful to see. Also good to see that there was some crowd at Eden as well. Of course, not full capacity, but good to see some people gradually coming in as things open up. We have Joydeep Mukherjee with us as always. Joydeep, what did you think of the game overall? Was that an easy win, or as always, did you kind of also think that there were certain problems that India still need to kind of figure how to solve, especially in the middle overs when India was chasing?
Yeah, it was an easy win. Should have been easier. See, I felt what we spoke about before the game, it's the wrist spinners that made the difference. And we saw the game running away with West Indies, with the fast bowlers bowling. But the moment the spinners came, it took a totally different turn. And I was a little disappointed the way they played Rahul Chahar. He was getting a bit of drift with the breeze from the Ganga coming in. He was bowling from
Yeah.
the right end. He was getting drift. And all his balls were going because the wicket was so good. He's not a big turner of the ball. In fact, his leg spin doesn't turn at all. Everything is a slider or a googly. So I was very disappointed. Everybody trying to play him as a leg spinner. A couple of the guys getting LBW. Everybody trying to hit him. The left-handers trying to hit him against the turn. I don't think it's till the 17th over that Nicholas Puran hit him over covers. And the commentators were saying finally they've got the clue on how to bat against him. Because so much as good as he is, he doesn't turn the leg spin. And sooner or later, if he doesn't turn the leg spin, he will be found out, as good as he is. This is the same problem that Piyush Chawla faced a few years back when he played for India. And when you call a leg spinner, your leg spin has to spin. And then
Yeah.
comes the googly and the slider, like an Amit Mishra or a Yajuvendra Chahal, masters of the game. They have the leg spin that spins, they have the googly that spins, and then they have the slider and blah blah blah. But if you have found out that don't have the leg spin, that's a major weapon out of your repertoire, and then you will be found out. So sooner or later, Rahul Chahar will have to get that into his armory.
Yeah, well said. And again, when I saw the West Indies innings, really good to see Pooran. I think, always, I think every time, I think the way he kind of, clears the cow corner and, he's so strong on the leg side. Good to see him get that 50. But I thought, again, the West Indies had so much more potential. They probably eventually fell short by, like you called out, if they had scored 180, it could have been a bit tougher for India as well. Where did you think the West Indies folks got it wrong? Could they have done something differently to get that additional 20, 30 runs?
Yeah, they played the spinners very poorly. They were playing too much on the back foot. Clearly, you couldn't read them. The moment you start playing spinners on the back foot, it could be for two reasons. One is that if either trying to play a shot, which they won, it is only because you can't read them, so you're going back to get some extra time. And once you play balls that you should play on the front foot, on the back foot, then you can't score off them anymore. Then you're just trying to survive. And in T20 mode, if you're trying to survive, then that's not the right mantra for this format. So I just thought the moment the spinners came, they had no clue. As much as the West Indian players play in the IPL and the sort of experience that a Pollard could give them, with the video analysts now telling you, they should have been better prepared to play the spinners. And it was evident that on a wicket like this, it would be the two wrist spinners from India that would make the difference for them, as you and I were discussing before the game. And it just happened like that because it was really going away. And then the spinners came and wickets fell, and they looked like they didn't know what their game plan was when the spinners came. So even when the spinners come, there has to be a game plan. But that was not there. What shots are we going to play? What are the shots we're going to play against Chahal? What are the shots are we going to play against Rahul Chahar? There was no plan in place whatsoever. They're just trying to take it one ball at a time and going for that one big shot. And if that doesn't clear, then you're in trouble. And today it was not their day.
Yeah, well said. And what did you think? I mean, I was quite happy to see the way, again, Harshal Patel, again, so good to see these guys who obviously, again, done so well at the auctions, and, he's been the purple cap holder. He's bowled so well in the death. Even today, good to see that at the end, he could just come and take those couple of wickets, slow things down right at the end. Even Odeon Smith couldn't really clear and do too much. Were you happy with the way our Pacers kind of tackled the challenge at hand?
Yeah, you're my favorite word in a sense of belonging. Now he knows he belongs here. He belongs in the IPL. He's one of the big players. He's the purple cap winner. It's a sense of saying that, okay, I'm here for a while. I'm not just in and out. Before it's happened with this same Harshal Patel, who played one game, missed four, then again played one, then missed the ninth, another five. But now he knows his name will be there in the first five names in the team sheet in whichever team he plays. That's how valuable he is. That's where he's taken his skill levels to. So having said that, so he knows now that I belong here, and it's easier when you've had success in coming into a tournament like this, into a bilateral series like this, that you feel that they know how good you are. So a couple of bad games won't get you out of the team, which is something you don't have initially.
That's true. And again, good to see Bhuvaneshwar come back. I mean, again, just one wicket, but at 7.75, not too bad. Good to see. Again, there's again one of these bowlers who's had so much potential, of course, injury prone. Do you see that, if tomorrow, assuming the World Cup is just another week away, where from a pacer's perspective, of course, we have Harshal for death. You're right, he probably walks in right now. But with Bhuvi, Deepak Chahar, with the Bumrahs of the world, what's the future for someone like Bhuvi? Are you uncertain? Does he have to prove a lot, or does he walk in straight away?
No, he has to prove a lot. For the simple reason that his pace has gone down a couple of notches. If the ball doesn't swing, India bowled first today, so there was some respite for him. In the second half, the due was even more. There was hardly any swing. Cottrell swung it for an over. Moment the ball got wet, the swing went. And once the swing goes from a bowler of Bhuvaneshwar Kumar's quality and caliber, then he doesn't have a lot of mixtures, a lot of pace to fall back on. So what is his fallback? Bumrah has a lot of things to fall back on. And what is a huge difference in Bhuvaneshwar Kumar in a year back and now is his lack of 3 or 4 yards. That makes the difference. And he is coming off an injury, but I still feel he is valuable because he's one guy who can deliver under pressure. He's done that for India. He's done that for Sunrisers Hyderabad. And when the heat is on, when it's 2 overs, 18 runs, and you need to bowl that penultimate over where so that Bumrah can finish it off at the end, you need a guy who can take the heat in the at the moment, and he's one guy who can do that. So if his skill set is in place, he has the other side. Whereas some of the others have the skill set, but we'll have to see 2 overs, semi-finals of the World Cup, 18 to get. You want Bumrah 10 overs or 9 in the last over. You want to give 9 in this over. Can you get those Yorkers in place? So one is the skill set, and one is the fact that you'll be able to do it under pressure. It's the culmination of these two things that gets you right on top.
Fair enough. And when we look at the batting, I mean, this seems a classic templated Mumbai Indians batting. Rohit, Ishan on top. I mean, Rohit's innings was fabulous. Clearly, the man loves Eden Gardens. I mean, there are folks like Azharuddin, there are folks like, Rohit Sharma. There's something about Eden and them, and the magic comes out. It's not just
And
the
previous
40 of the
Lakshman,
9. Lakshman, how
previous
do I
Lakshman
forget
to add to
Lakshman?
that. Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and maybe before we go down to the Mumbai Indians and Surya and everything else, what is it about a particular ground and certain batsmen? I mean, it's not just one off, as you said. Eden, we already can speak of three people. Is it just the sense of belonging again? Is it a confidence? What happens at that particular so called favorite ground?
Yeah, it is the confidence, the dressing room, the memories. First time you go there, everything falls in place, and every time is just a ditto again, ditto again. You sit in the same seat, you see the same person who's the attendant in the changing room. Everything is the same. The known faces, the guys who are helping out with the drinks at the back end are the same people. There's the curator, the people who are putting up. So there's a sense of belonging. These are the guys. Happy memories come flooding back into your mind. And this game is so much mental. You just fall into the right place. Similarly, the greats of world cricket have not done well at Lords. And when somebody says, why not? Just never got the vibes, never got on. It's like that. I mean, Lords is special in their own way, Eden special in our way, but also the wicket now is suiting Rohit. That is also, I mean, if this was the wicket of 2009, 10, 11, I'm not so sure. But right now it's suiting. Rohit loves the bat coming onto the ball coming onto the bat. And in this case, that's happening for him to perfection.
And that's a good segue. Now, you mentioned ball coming to bat, but we see a contrasting. I mean, Ishan Kishan, yes, he scored 35, but seems scratchy, 35 or 42. I'm presuming, if the ball's coming to Rohit's bat, perhaps the ball's coming to Ishan's bat. Is it why is such a is it just a matter of a day and he wasn't on song, or what kind of describes or kind of justifies the sort of different approach that an Ishan took, or is it a deliberate approach that if Rohit's playing so fluently, I'm just going to nudge around?
No, it's a great question. Couple of things here. One is the quality of the two people, without in disrespect to Ishan. Rohit Sharma is a player of awesome attributes. So very few are as blessed. Number one. Number two is sense of belonging. There is KL Rahul who wants to open. He will be back. So Ishan Kishan
Yeah.
is thinking, how many games do I have? Okay, do I have this series? Okay, am I going to be back in the middle? So he's not found his mojo as yet. He's in the team. He's very well. He's somebody that comes with a huge reputation, and he's a player for the future. But when is he going to be a permanent member of the 11? Even he doesn't know. Because if everybody is available, it's not a surety whether Ishan Kishan will make the team or not. They're trying out the players with KL and Virat and Rohit and Surya, who's indispensable in my opinion, probably the best player after these two guys, Rohit and Virat.
Yeah.
You know how big a fan I am of Surya, just because of the range that he has. We'll come to Surya in a bit. But I think Ishan is still finding his mojo. In a game like this, 135, he'll be 674 not out. One game. And that'll be the day.
Yeah.
That'll be the day he's crossed the hurdle. He's crossed the pond. He's just swimming
We
halfway
wish.
there, making it back. Yeah. You can make out. I mean, there's no question about the class and the quality. But today, I thought the Indian batters were a bit loose. We could have won this game by 9 wickets. We needed 7 runs and over. But I think maybe, you just want to go and finish this in the 15th over, make a statement, whatever. So a lot of the guys, Rohit perished in there. Ishan Kishan perished, Rishabh Pant perished, all these guys. We could knock the ball around and get this win. Maybe in the 18th over, maybe in the 19th over. A win is a win. It doesn't matter. There's no net run rate here. This is not a tournament where, you have to worry about it. Just the win itself was good. But maybe they wanted to play some shots. They've been playing a lot of test cricket and one-day cricket, get the cobwebs out. Possible. Get their hands going a little bit.
Yeah, possible. But again, the word you said the right thing. I mean, they perished. And if you look at the wickets, I mean, Chase, Allen, and then just one off Cottrell. And I thought, it was again not a wicket that Cottrell got, but Rishabh once again probably tried his one-hand trick a bit too often, and he perished there. But we should kind of talk about this, right? Before I want to save the best for the last about Surya, because I'm just supremely impressed with just the whole fluency of it, whether it was the ramp shot or the fluent off drive at the end. I mean, absolutely stunning. But would you agree, and I'm going to make a sweeping statement here, that in general, this is my gut feeling as an observer or a fan across formats, is it still fair to say that India plays spinners as well as it used to? Because we spoke about this across the test, in the ODIs. Even here, the way, Kohli was, again, looking good, nudging around. Is it because Eden's a big ground? He could. I can't believe that Kohli's fairly strong and fit. He can cross, but was he not up to the pitch of the ball? What is it with India not playing spin that well as it used to? I mean, you've mentioned about the Ranji tracks, etc. Or am I just reading too much into this? India perish into spinners too often.
You see, of all these players, the only person who plays Ranji Trophy regularly are Ishan Kishan and Suryakumar Yadav. The others don't. Okay, the Rohit Sharmas, the Virat Kohlis, the Rishabh Pants don't play Ranji Trophy. The amount of international cricket they play. Somebody plays 3 versions. So what I feel, it's not easy getting 10, 12 against spinners as it is against fast bowlers. So I think with Virat, what happened, the bat turned in his hand. Maybe he also tried to, after 6 overs, try to change his game. Normally, this is not the usual Virat we know. He would nudge it around and be, 40 not out, 45 not out. But today, it was probably evident that he's trying to get his game to another gear, maybe trying something which, if he see he can do it. And he played a beautiful shot back over the bowler's head. Then Perish tried to hit it over, covers the bat turned in his hand. But yes, having said that, playing spinners and dominating spinners are 2 things. Playing spinners in a test match and a one-day game and milking them for 5, 6 runs and over, and trying to get spinners from 10, 12 runs and over are 2 different things. And I think the range over here, Surya shows you how you can, with your range, get 10 runs and over without even risking it. That shot he played of the left arm spin at the end, when he just opened up his wrists and sprayed to point and backward point. This is the range. The reason I've always been a huge admirer of his, and not today, I'm talking about when he used to play for KKR and Gautam Gambhir made him the vice captain ahead of the Robin Uttapas, ahead of the Yusuf Pathans, and there was a lot of furor in the team that, how is this young boy? But Gautam knows his cricket, and he obviously saw something in this boy, the talent that he had and the range that he had. There's no 2 opinions about that. Today Venkatesh Iyer would have been in trouble if Surya was not with him, because initially Venkatesh was taking a bit of time. He's batting out of place. He's had all his success at the top. He's now batting in the middle. Yes, he bats in the middle for MP, but that's only one season. He's always batted at the top. So in international cricket, but every time they needed a four, Surya had got two of them for them. One through point, one through a six over a fine leg with this off-court trend. So every time they were behind the eight ball, he came and got runs for them. So the pressure was always being released by Surya. But it's not always that you'll have a Surya at the other end. The best part about having Surya batting is he will not only take the pressure of himself, in all probability, he'll take the pressure of the non-striker as well. Rishabh disappoints me because as good as he is, range-wise, I feel Surya is even better than Rishabh at this point in
Absolutely.
time. Yeah, because the range that he has, But Rishabh has to take responsibility batting where he does. Today we got away because they scored 150 something. Today, if they got 180, and Rishabh gets out, like we lose the game. So there somewhere, or otherwise you bat at 7. Then let's Shreyas Iyer bat at 5, because you cannot be a top order batsman. You have to take more responsibility. As good as he is, I'm a huge fan, and I think it'll come. It'll come with these dismissals. There will be Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma in his ear, and his coaches and everybody. With all the talent that he has and the ability that he has, it's also about how you construct an innings. See, Surya also hit 4 6s, but you can make out he's constructing an innings. It's about constructing an innings, even a short one, 35, 40, but you construct it. You just can't go and throw your bat and say, okay, if it's my day, if it's my day, if it's not, it's not. But batting at 5 6, you can't do that because the team's depending on you. At 1 2 3, you can do that because you've got 4 5 6 7 to bail you out. But if you go and do that at 5, who bails you out?
Well said, absolutely. And I think about Rishabh, obviously, and it's one of those things about Rishabh, 2 matches down the road, maybe the third game he gets a fluent 60, 70, and maybe but that hopefully we get to see more consistency. But because especially from a team perspective, now that if Ishan becomes a permanent member in this 20 over format, the management could always think that if Ishan can keep, you probably have a place for a Shreyas to come in instead of a Rishabh. Not saying that Rishabh needs to, Rishabh's time is up, but I'm sure as a team, these options are always in the management's calculations. Let's talk about Surya. He deserves every bit of praise. 2 questions for you. We saw what he did, 5 4s, 1 6. Are you happy with the position where he's playing, or should he go up the order, in place of maybe after Kohli? B, how does one start? Venkatesh took time, Ishan took time. Rohit and Surya, they were on song literally from ball 1 or ball 2. What's the difference? Do they practice in the nets before literally stepping out? How are they so warmed up, and how do the runs flow so fluently, literally from ball 1?
Okay, so I feel to answer your question, I feel Surya is batting at the right place. In fact, he could go a notch lower because he is the only finisher, in my opinion, who could actually bail you out of this team, of a rot. Okay, Venkatesh too new, all the ability that he has, he'll come and play an innings which will baffle you, and then there'll be innings where he'll be absolutely gobsmacked that how could he do this to us? So the dependability, I would depend on Surya, the range that he has and the maturity that he has to take out games is a great combination. It's a great marriage. Because it's very difficult to get these two, especially, and we've got too many guys who can bat at 1 2 3, maybe even 4. We've got very few guys who can bat at 5 6 7 in T20 cricket, and Surya is the only one who can fit in anywhere over there. He'll be equally good at 1 2 3, but we have players at 1 2 3, and we
That's right.
don't have players at 5 6 7. So that's why I want him to bat at 5 6 7. And also, what you want from Rishabh is also taking a leaf out of Surya's book and saying, I'm going to be there at the end. So Rishabh is all flair, all natural ability now. There's no planning that's going on. It's all about, when it's his day, he will play an innings which nobody else can. But if that's 1 in 8 games, that's not doing the job. That's going to be 1 in 3 games, 2 in 5, 3 in 5. As you mature, 6 in 8, 7 in 10, then you become. You just see how consistent Surya is. He's batting 2 balls, 8 batting straight away, and no risks taken because of range. Because what he can do to a ball, not many can do. He can hit it long off, he can hit it over covers, he can hit it through point, he can scoop it. So as a bowler, I messed up because I know, okay, this is where I'm going to bowl. What if he does this? So let me get the fine leg up. Okay, let me put the point back, and then he's gone into my head. The range has done that to me, and he has a cool head. If the ball's not there, he'll just pat it back. That's where Rishabh has to learn. If the ball's not there, I'm just going to pat it back. That's what's not there in Rishabh, but that comes with maturity. Surya is 31. So it comes with maturity, it comes with years and years of playing domestic cricket in India, A and IPL and everything. Rishabh, even for Delhi Capitals, bats at four, goes hammer and tongs. He is not had the ability. His role has not been able to take matches out. Other people do it in DC. He doesn't do that. The day he plays, he takes the match. He'll win you the match on his own. But even if he doesn't, there are other people to bail him out. But in India, he's batting at five. He needs to bail out people.
That's a good analysis. I love the way you put it that, Surya's role is his place is also a function of the sort of skill sets that, we don't have plenty of. You're absolutely right. There are so many in the in the reserves who could easily walk into one, two, three, four, but very hard to find good finishers. And this has been a massive challenge for India. And bless him, the way he's kind of built. You're right. It's so much about constructing the innings, the maturity, and it's even as a fan when you're watching, you can see the eyes that he's going to get it done, even if it's 60 from 48. But kudos to Venkatesh again, one of those players who shows so much promise, but I suppose there is still a lot to be proven. And you hit it on the nail that it's on the day when a Venkatesh can do it on his own rather than play second fiddle to to Surya. That's the day probably he'll even have a even better sense of belonging. But good to see that he kind of did the job at the end for on a ground that is his IPL home ground. Sorry, you had something to
And
say about.
yeah, and that time will come for Venkatesh. He's new to the game, but Rishabh's not new to the game.
That's right.
Rishabh is not new to the game. He captains an IPL team, so he needs to take responsibility. Today it was West Indies. Tomorrow, if it's Australia, or tomorrow it's England, and they get 180, and we are 90 for three, you got to take the game out. You cannot just go, I'm going to go and hit, and we'll see where it takes us. No. Surya knows what he's doing. One is that he tries a shot and it hits the right shot, but the execution is wrong. That is forgiven because it's a game of skill. With that, at that moment, the bowler's skill was better than the batter's, so he got me out, or it was his day. But if I don't have a plan, if I'm playing without a plan and just on natural ability, then it's a bit of hit and miss. I mean, it's not one you can depend. It's not a foolproof one where you can just go, okay, this is my game plan. With Surya, there's a game plan. He gets out early sometimes. I've seen him get out second ball in the other trophy game, try to over covers. But it was the right shot, but the execution was wrong. And so that can be forgiven. But if you're trying to hit a left arm spinner, first ball, slog sweep, stump ball, LBW, you won't do that.
That's right.
Because that's outside his game plan. So his game, that comes with playing, that comes with maturity, that comes with a very still head and a mind. And somebody who's at night thinking, okay, tomorrow this is my game. Cottrell is going to do this. This one's going to do this. Rose is going to do this. What are the shots? If they do this. So there is a game plan. You're thinking, if it's short and wide, I'm going to do this. If they have this fielder, I'm going to go scoop. So there is a plan. I think Rishabh right now is just like, okay, I'll see how good it is. I'll see. I'll take it as it comes. And it always doesn't work with that. That's why even the greatest of players, the Laras, the Tendulkars, there is visualization, and you want to do that. And all this will come. This is just a matter of time and age.
Now, hopefully that comes with age and time. But again, talking about time, we don't really have. I mean, the T20 World Cup is just about 7 odd months ahead. And, Rohit's made it fairly clear that I think, we've got to figure out our core team, core unit in the next 1 or 2 months. There isn't, because when I was watching this game, I mean, my immediate thought was if this is the team that goes out against the current English unit, or even if we play with the current Pakistani unit, I mean, I don't think my current gut feeling is I don't think we're there yet to defend or even to cross a 180, 190 in a high pressure game, and obviously in conditions that won't necessarily be very, very suitable to us. So yes, India's won against the West Indies. That's good. That should be a good start. Congratulations to Ravi Bishnoi. He becomes the 9th Indian to win Player of the Match on T20 debut. But when I look at that list as well, it's interesting that there are so many. This list, if I look at that list, it's Dinesh Karthik, Oja, Badrinath, Akshar, Sran, Navdeep Saini, Ishan Kishan, Harshal Patel, and now Bishnoi. It also goes on to show that I think Indian cricket is full of such history where you have a fantastic start, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have a flourishing career. So I wish Ravi Bishnoi all the best. He's obviously done a great job on day one, but hopefully he's someone, and I'm hoping that now that he's be playing along under he's a wicket taking option, but a lot of hard work to be done so that he takes it from strength to strength from here on. That's it from our side. It's been a good start. Again, I really wish Joydipda and I were doing this live from Eden, hopefully someday soon. It's good to see cricket back in Eden. And we'll be back on the 18th once again. Hopefully, India can seal this T20 series there. But I promise you, I'm sure this is going to be a high octane series, because this is a format where West Indies will come back hard. Today, today was a good day. They could have probably posted 180, had a Pollard, Odean Smith, etc. Had they kind of managed to clear the ropes a bit more. But I'm sure they will come back hard, because they are a very, very strong fighting unit. Joydipda, thank you once again. Enjoy your trip at Rajkot. All the best for your commentary sprint tomorrow. We'll catch you back again on the 18th.
Thank you and good night.